All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the fresh episode of Dynamic CIO Talk Show, where we strike meaningful conversations with technology and business leaders and get to know from them about their journeys, struggles, challenges, and also accomplishments. We are quite sure that these dialogues are a useful means to learn and to reflect upon. Today, I have a guest who happens to be a great friend, a great mentor. I have personally had opportunity to work with him on different projects. You know, in the lifetime of Greyhead so far, it's been 10 years of Greyhead too. So the association with him has been quite a long one. Let me now put the spotlight on this human being who, along with his life partner, Tejas, spent nearly 10 years to plan a venture. He postponed many of his decisions, for example, buying an expensive, luxurious car, or giving up, or giving up on lavish holidays to save up for this venture. Um, I'm personally privy to some of the struggles that he has, or some of the midnight oil that he has burned to bring up this venture. Otherwise, a very hugely popular and a successful consultant he is, and a very well-known figure in the domain of cybersecurity. I must say he took a very massive step and risk to create something very different. He's a coder. I mean, generally, those who are in business are. I mean, the new age is catching up with technology, but the older ones were not too much into technology. But he is a coder. I today discovered by way of reading his short bio on his website that while studying, he contributed an article on information risk management to the Economic Times, which landed him his first job at KPMG. So that was a discovery for me, despite knowing him for so many years. After leaving KPMG, he joined Ernst & Young, and in between, he tried his luck with entrepreneurship, where he started his own version of an online marriage bureau. Somehow, it did not take off, so he joined EY and stayed in EY for 16 long years. He headed the cybersecurity and risk practice as a partner at EY. And then came the time when he quit everything. And I personally know all the series of events which went behind, and he finally quit and became the founder of Saffron Stays with Tejas Parulekar, his better half. So here is Devendra Parulekar for all of us. I mean, I took the name of his wife. I didn't introduce him by his name. So welcome, Devendra. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you. What a lovely introduction. You've covered pretty much my entire journey. So yeah, and it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure knowing you and seeing your journey in your entrepreneurial venture, right? So it's just fantastic. And I've
Well,
known
thank
all
you.
your tribulations, everything that you have done, since your early days. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who else can vouch for it but you, who has been a mentor for me. I would say a man's Friday. You have time and again you have stood up for many of things that I tried doing differently in the
Yes.
cybersecurity domain.
Yes.
However, so let me now dive into a conversation with you. From a cybersecurity professional, a cybersecurity very acclaimed cybersecurity expert, to an entrepreneur dabbling into hospitality sector. How did this idea take a shape and form? Tell us about the story of Saffron Stays from the time of inception till now, and all the iterations that have happened in between.
So thank you, Rahul. This idea was actually born 20 plus years ago when my father-in-law gifted us a 2 to 3 night stay at a Tata Tea guest house in Fort Kochi.
Okay.
Because he was the chief economist of the Tata Group, he was able to pull some strings and managed to get us that 2 3 night stay as a part of our honeymoon. And I recall distinctly how enamored we were by the hospitality standards of that lovely caretaking family, the lovely caretaker who came and asked for everything that we wanted and served in a beautiful colonial style, old world charm bungalow right in the middle of Fort Kochi. And the idea that germinated was, why should this be available only to the directors of Tata Tea? And why could this not be democratized? Right? And I'm sure there would be hundreds and thousands of these homes, which probably are lying unlocked, or maybe or locked, or not necessarily accessible to you and I. Fortunately or unfortunately, life took over. We had kids. We did our respective jobs. So Tejas is a chartered accountant, corporate banker. 12 plus years she was in ICICI Bank, HSBC. So she was busy in a banking career. We built out the whole cyber thing in EY. But 2016 came, and then I think I turned 40, and then midlife crisis hit. And I honestly feel that it was midlife crisis, where I just woke up on my day of birthday and I said, look, you know what, I need to do something different. I need to do, and I need to create a legacy. And that's true, because the day I quit Ernst and Young, right? I mean, yes, I built the practice of cybersecurity, which was inherited by a lot of successful partners. Subsequently, it now is a raving practice, a huge practice right now. But the next day, your legacy, you're forgotten, right, in the ecosystem. And that's exactly what I did not want. So I wanted to create a brand. I wanted to create a brand that outlives Deven and Tejas. Yeah. So 10 years from now, I would love to see a made in India, a luxury hospitality brand that's spoken of highly in the hospitality circles. They may not know me, they may not know Tejas, they may not know the people behind it. My team also they may not know, but they should know brand Saffron Stays, right? And if you look at all the hospitality ventures that have emerged in the last 10 years, particularly venture capital driven, they're all in the budget space, right? And nobody has attempted to do anything in the luxury space of scale, of repute, of quality, right? And I thought that post the ITCs and the Oberois and the Tads, there existed a space in the so-called alternative accommodation, which is private vacation homes. And that was a white space waiting to be filled. And there we are. I mean, the rest is just history, maybe.
No, so some very beautiful things that you just said. First phrase that I caught was democratization of luxury
Yeah.
stays. Nobody. I personally do not know anyone who has thought of that kind of idea. And you are right. When we talk of Airbnb or when we talk of Oyo, they are not they are nowhere in terms of providing a verified quality space for people to who can trust. I mean,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
brand needs to have that trust.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think Saffron Stays is getting on that track very steadily. That's what. And a lot of questions come to my mind. How did being a technologist and a security practitioner, or for that matter, being a consultant to this whole digital disruption, did it at all help in working things out for this venture? Did you leverage some of your expertise?
Of course. I mean, you think that everything you do in life, adds up someday. Any skill you acquire, anything that you learn, anything that you are practicing, somewhere comes back and starts applying. So, for example, I must confess, Saffron Stays is actually a technology company masquerading as a hospitality company. Okay.
I'm,
So
I'm
we
about to come to that. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm about to come to that, but you complete your statement. I'm very intrigued to know about this.
Yeah. So we started out to compete head on with Airbnb in India as an aggregator. Okay.
Yes.
So the platform was built to scale from day zero. But then we realized that I don't have those billions of dollars in my bank account to steer, to fund a venture like this. And there was another player called Stazilla, which kind of went belly up. They burnt almost 200 crores of venture capital money. And the writing was on the wall that the so-called aggregator model doesn't necessarily work in India. And the reason is, if you look at Airbnb internationally, you can be reasonably sure that the quality of the home will be fairly similar to what the photographs are, and there's certainty in the experience, maybe in Europe or wherever. Yeah. But in India, it's a pure case of hit or miss. You have to sift through thousands of profiles of homes to actually find that real gem, or set of gems, and then you find it's not available. So it's a complete case of hit or miss. And even there, you pretty much don't have recourse if there is a gap in the quality of the service provided. So we realize that for a guest, the core point that we are stressing upon is the certainty of service that probably we bring to the table as a brand Saffron Stays. Okay. If I compare myself against a hotel, a traditional 5-star or a 7-star hotel, the single piece that we are bringing to the table against a 5-star or a 7-star hotel is privacy, that and the home, the warmth of a home, or the warmth of a hospitality, of like a home like hospitality. Okay. And you add home cooked fresh meals made right in front of you, and you not those boring paneer tikkas and the orange chicken makhnis and all of that, which is what you get served in any hotel, right? But you get fresh vegetables which were grown in your backyard, in your farm, which you don't get in the city, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and local, authentic food made by local villagers. All we have to do is train them up on hygiene, train them up on presentation of the food, and that food, believe you me, is probably that chula cooked food is something that you will pay 2 times as much as a 5-star, and because you
Absolutely.
enjoy that much more, right? We've In the last 5 years, we've served at least 150,000 families from Mumbai and Pune, and we've never had a case of indigestion or anybody calling up saying that we've had yeah, and it's all home cooked food, right? So however, at the same time, the expectation that a customer has, particularly somebody is paying 50,000 a night for a villa, the expectation is that the same quality of the standards that hotels have been known for, right? That your beds are made properly, the air conditioning work, the power works, the rooms are fresh and smell nice, the house is mint fresh, the washrooms are clean, dry, and smell nice. Okay, and there is everything that the service is spot on. That's something that we work really hard in because you're dealing with remote locations, a 3-room, 4-room, 5-room inventory far off, and you got to maintain the same standard that a 200-room hotel is managing with economies of scale in a city. Right? Somewhere, I think we've managed to somehow stitch all of this up together and create a very compelling proposition in the mind of the customer. Likewise, on the other side, on the supply side, you had homeowners, rich HNI homeowners who own these gorgeous estates, who were sitting on these gorgeous estates not knowing the value of their home. In fact, they were spending 2-3 lakhs a month just to maintain the home, right? And today, these same homes are assets that are earning money for them, which were earlier white elephants. So the homeowners love the fact that there is a trusted, credible, partner like Saffron Stays, where they don't have to do anything. They just have to relax, and Saffron Stays takes care of everything. Saffron Stays manages everything. So that's the proposition on both sides of the ecosystem.
Great. So, from the time of signing up with the homeowner till the time that you come up with that property and list that for people to come and stay there, what goes into this, and how do you curate these properties? How is the originality maintained? How do
Yeah.
you train people?
Yeah. So, firstly, I think we are very, very, very choosy about what homes we onboard. So, I would safely say from 30 homes that come our way in terms of leads that come our way, today barely 1 or 2 get actually onboarded on the platform. Not because we're not able to convince the homeowners, it's the other way around. We're very, very choosy, very selective about which home comes on the platform. And the logic is very simple. If Rahul has a gorgeous 6-bedroom villa, pool villa, and the next home shown next to it is a 6-bedroom, ugly looking ramshackled house, Rahul will call me and say, you know what, I don't want to be seen next to that house. Either I'm off your platform or that home is off the platform, right? So we very clear that when we curate the quality of the home. So the quality of the home is number one. The number two is we prefer locations that are drop dead gorgeous. So you got to have a lake next to it. You got to be in the middle of a forest. See, what are you doing? You're running away from the madness of the city, right?
Absolutely.
You want to go away from the maddening crowds. You want that privacy. So we dislike actually gated complexes where there are 40 villas and 50 villas. We just stay away from all of that. But we love estates, private estates, where there's just one or two homes in a large, a farm or a large, a forest or a lovely river flowing or the beach next door or whatever. Yeah. The third is we start working on the experience curation. So everything that we can provide as unique experiences in the house for a very enriching customer experience, that's taken care of. Then the staffing is done, which ensures that the experience that we've crafted continues and is provided. The styling of the home is done. So a lot of times the homes are there, but they're bare bones. A little bit of quirky styling that needs to be added is added to the home. And at the end of it, you bring it all together, you create a lovely narrative and a lovely story around it. वो एशियन पेंट्स का एक बहुत अच्छा ऐड रहता था कि हर घर कुछ कहता है. So it is so true. The home tells a story about the homeowner. The homeowner is not present while he or she is, while the guests are coming, but the home is there narrating the same story and why the home was built, who built it, how painstakingly was it built, right? That lovely painting from Banaras, why is it hanging there? Is it because Deven likes it, or is it because the homeowner is actually hailing from Banaras and hence that lovely painting is out there, right? So, or that, for example, we have a house in Alibag, which is built from the ruins of a house in Bhuj. Okay, so this
Oh,
Gujarat family had their ancestral house broken down in the Bhuj earthquake, and they got everything down from that Haveli, and they recreated their house in Alibag. So their whole narrative needs to be told, right? And customers love stories. You and I love stories. We are
absolutely.
for stories. That's our job. So I'm actually, honestly, Rahul, I'm a storyteller, right? I'm just a matchmaker and a storyteller between homeowners who have built these unbelievably gorgeous homes. Okay, and you can see my Zoom background. That's a
I
pool
was
villa.
about to ask it. I was about to just about to ask,
I am not there. I am in Bangalore. In
no, no, so
that's just my
what's
background.
is this also a property that you have curated?
Yes, it's a 5 bedroom, larger than life estate. And I say larger than life because it's a 4 acre estate by the beach. And access to the home is a drive on the beach. So you
Wow.
use your speedboat, you get into your car, okay, and
Oh,
drive on the beach to get to this goddamn home. Okay. So, and
oh,
it's just a 5 minute drive there, and you feel, you like you see the Narcos serial, no? You've seen those Spanish haciendas. This is like that. You get the feeling that you are in a, a Narcos type house or a bungalow, which is genuinely larger than life. So the
it
experience
appears to
is
be like
larger than
that.
life.
It appears
Yeah,
to be like that.
it is. It is. Yeah.
Great. I mean, you just said that, hospitality is all about experience, all
Yeah.
about narratives, the
Yeah.
stories.
Yes.
There is a particular, I mean, type of people who enjoy these modern squarish hotels, small rooms, but they want to be in the hustle bustle of a town, commercial properties. But there is a growing strata of people who are now wanting to go into the deep woods and stay in calmness of a
Yes.
jungle, or
Yes.
you know just like you said that people might pay 10 times the money
Yeah.
for a very earthen food from a rustic village
Yes.
in a five-star hotel. So
Yeah.
why not give them that experience in a
Yeah.
in a, a genuine place?
Yeah.
So when we say hospitality all about experience, how does technology make it superior? Or do you really experiment with some technology
Of
to
course.
some intuitiveness, some bit of AI or IoT to make the experience more immersive and distinct?
So the answer is yes and no. Okay, so uh, I think the core product is the home and the service are in the home. Okay, and
True.
technology is extremely the technology layer is very transparent. So you don't even know that you're actually being led by tech to take a decision on where to go. For
Mm,
example, if you go to our website and
mm,
you see a campaign on Instagram and you click on that link and it goes to a particular home, thereafter the AI engine starts learning, what kind of a person you are, what kind of a home you are seeing, and the AI engine starts throwing up homes to you for you
mm.
to actually start looking at, because the AI engine has learned over last several years that what vibe attracts what tribe.
Mm.
So every home is different. You got to know that the brand Saffron Stays is about non-standardization. No home is similar to other home, and no room within the same home is similar. So
Mm.
everything is similar, everything is different, and that's yet there is a common thread. Okay, there is a thread of maybe a similar bohemian vibe running through homes, or there is a thread of luxury running, the conventional sense of luxury running through homes, or there is a sense of this place is ideal for celebrations. You and I have our milestone 50th birthday, and we want to celebrate in a typical kind of a villa, and that immediately that picture comes to your mind, right?
Mm.
Or there is a farm stay, and that's a vibe that is running across 5 farm stays. So the AI engine quickly has understood that if Rahul is looking at a farm stay, the next home that it recommends to you will be a farm stay. Okay. Likewise, after you check out, okay, it'll offer you not necessarily the same location. It'll offer you some other farm stay in. So this is completely AI driven. As a customer, you have no clue. So the whole journey from the discovery to shortlisting to booking to check-in to meal preferences to checkout to loyalty points to reviews, the entire customer journey has been completely digitized,
Oh,
completely automated, yet never giving a customer a feeling that the personal touch is missing.
wow.
Okay, and so unlike all our competitors, I must tell you there are two things that we are fundamentally proud of.
Mm.
One, 90+% of our business comes from brand Saffron Stays, which means I'm not dependent on any OTA whatsoever. Okay, I don't care if tomorrow one OTA decides to blacklist Saffron Stays. I do not care. Right, that's number one. Number two is that most of the bookings happen directly through the website, despite it being a high ticket size. Mind you, average
Mm.
booking is 60,000, 70,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh. Entire transaction is happening without any human intervention whatsoever. And of course, they try their level best to reach our call center, and they do reach the call center, uh,
Okay.
but with an intention sometimes to ask for discounts. Okay, but because we have now a stated zero discount policy as a brand, so our whatever prices you see on the website are the absolute best. You will never get a discount unless you're a repeat customer where you have a loyalty points that you can start using up. But a large part of our transaction happens directly on our website. So
Mm.
like this industry, which is, even if you look at Airbnb, most of the transactions happen with between the end customer and the homeowner through their chat interface. There's tremendous amount of up and down conversation on the chat interface, where homeowner and the guest talk to each other. We've stayed away from all of that, and we've said, trust brand Saffron Stays. Don't worry about it. You don't have to do so much diligence on this entire shortlisting process.
Mm.
But all the information is out there for you to make your decision. And we've realized that customers love digital. They don't want to necessarily, unlike what you and I think, be spoon fed, on and talk for hours on the call center. That's a myth, and we've killed that myth.
No, that's great. I think that's where I wanted to drive this whole conversation, that technology is there. However, as people prefer in hospitality sector, they do not want to really immerse in technology, and they want to technology is a true enabler in this case, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, yes, it's a great enabler. And in fact, now, we have a very strong, so we don't use any property management system or site reservation system or whatever. Everything is in-house built. Okay. uh, and the emphasis that we place is more on UX. Unlike, the so user interface or the user experience on the entire platform is of extreme importance to us, because it has to give the feel of premiumness. It has to give the feel of luxury from the moment you land on the website, right? The whole journey has to be uh, very, very, very luxurious, very intuitive.
I remember, long ago when this idea was germinating, and it was actually taking place. You were the one who coded this whole site.
Yeah, yeah,
Are you
yeah.
still the chief coder of the site, or have you stepped aside?
I have stepped aside. I have, much to my dislike or whatever. I've
I
actually,
understand.
I spend less than 5 minutes a day on the tech piece, but because I've been blessed with some of the smartest people who have joined us, fresh engineers who came into the organization, and today behave, like a 10-year-old, technologist. There's an army of people there, very, very carefully chosen, and they run the show. So we're moving to a React platform. We're getting our mobile app. All of that is, happening. It will happen over the next 1 year as we scale. It'll take time. I mean, we're not in a hurry. But tech will very soon move from becoming a tech enabler
Hmm.
to a tech driven business to probably over the next 2 years a digital first business.
Okay.
Yeah, so that transformation has to happen, because when you scale to 1,000 homes, when you start scaling to 5,000 homes, you can't any longer just be a tech enabled business. You got to be a digital first business. So everything is digital, and I think the millennials and the customers who are joining the Saffron Stage journey as customers today are extremely digitally native, right? They're very
But
familiar with digital.
again, very curious to know what's the typical clientele that you have. I mean, you already have spoken about the ticket size, which is certainly not a mass type of thing. However, what's your typical clientele?
So very interesting. There are three distinct classes of customers for us.
Mhm.
First is, you will be surprised to know, the millennials. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And the millennials come to I would safely say a large part of our customer base is actually young professionals, yeah, maybe even unmarried couples or couples who come and book as a group of friends. So,
Uh-huh.
office colleagues going together, MBA batchmates going together, young professionals are doing a college reunion together, or a send off. Somebody's going for a higher studies somewhere, doing a send off together, or just a girls gang together. So increasingly it's and mind you, even if the ticket size is say 60,000, there are 10 of them each chipping in 6,000 each.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
True.
so suddenly the conversation is about just 6,000 rupees. It's not about 60,000, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So once they then get married and they have kids, I lose them for a couple of years, because if you have a very tiny baby, there is a perception in the mind of the customer that, oh, going to a vacation home may not necessarily be the best thing to do. And then again, once the kid is they start going to school, they come back to a Saffron Stays, because now your PTA friends, your children's friends and their parents, and your building complex, the friends there, different families there, or your family cousins, that starts coming in, and they go to our super premium homes. Okay, because now you're looking at luxury, you're wanting everything to be absolutely spick and span. Millennials are a little okay with not so expensive properties. And then once you go into your 40s and 50s, when you have a lot of money, you start booking an X series home. An X series home within the Saffron Stays ecosystem is our homes which are really larger than life. They have private helipads, they have saunas, they have tennis courts, they have, game areas, gyms, whatever a hotel, has traditionally had, or
True.
home theaters, where you watch your matches as a family together. Anything that is larger than life. Those are X series homes, spread over large estates. May have a private jetty where you can get onto the boat and get onto the house. Your access to the house is through a boat, using a boat. All
Mm.
kinds of things which rich, fancy, ultra HNIs have always had. We just unlocking it for you and I, and that's very popular because those homes go retail at 2 to 2.5 lakhs a weekend.
Wow. Yeah, I think you have your path very chalked out, very clear, and
Yeah.
I can see that spark in your eyes that you are absolutely ready for since you have already enabled the platform, which can uh, scale up and scale out both, and onboard more such properties. So any plans to have an international foray as well?
So, I must tell you, Rahul, expansion is actually a lot of times done out of bravado. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, I honestly feel the way to grow is slow and steady. And I'll explain to you how our own stupidity of going pan India, we had to reverse the whole discussion. And we went from pan India, we went to only Maharashtra. And from 180, 190 properties, we went down to 100 properties, only Maharashtra. And now we have grown back to 150. Okay, during COVID, and that too within Maharashtra, we only operate in five geographies, only five geographies, only Alibag, only
Okay.
Karja, only Panchgani Mahabaleshwar, only Lonavala, and only Nasik. So this is not about this business, like any hospitality business, is
Uh-huh.
not about bravado. It's not about ego. It's about operational efficiencies and delivering superlative customer experience, which is possible when you do it in a hyper local geography.
Local
So
geography.
even, yeah,
Absolutely.
so my next phase of expansion probably will be pan India, but again in a very thought through manner, how I will replicate Maharashtra across the nation and then international. So I think we are 5 years away, or
Okay.
maybe more. We don't know.
No, but this is very convincing, and this is also, sometimes this stillness of thought
Yeah, yeah,
and not having turbulence in your mind
yeah,
actually gives you a very very clear thought of
yeah, yeah.
where you want to take this whole journey to.
Yes.
Extremely, extremely, gratifying and extremely convincing for me to understand that, people go the other way around, that, start from a state and then quickly scale out to different states and to do different things. However, you have taken a very, very, very unique step. And I think that's, your focus is absolutely pinned on customer experience, and that shows.
So Rahul, if your vision is 3 year, then you want to scale pan India. If your vision is next 15 to 20 years, right, then you will do the right stuff because you know that you are in a brand building effort. You want to build a brand one day which becomes, you leave a legacy behind on the map of hospitality of the country. Then you think very differently. You think of customer experience, you think of a customer journey, you think of operational excellence, you think of product excellence at a particular place, or slow and steady. And thankfully for us, our investors are rock solid behind us, where they understand that this is not about a hockey stick kind of a growth. This is about, so we double every year, and that's not a bad growth rate, right?
Absolutely.
In the last 5 years, we've doubled every year, and we will continue to double every year. And we want investors who are happy with this kind of a growth. Say over the next 5 years, grow 10 times. Okay, good. Yeah. So whatever we're doing today, so if we're 150 homes, we'll be 1,500 homes in 5 years.
5 years.
That is a decent growth rate, okay, for me. And I tell everybody, growth for the sake of growth is
Mhm.
nothing but cancer,
True. True.
right?
It'll spread, but it will not yield anything great. That's true.
Absolutely. Yeah. You will die. You will eventually die. You karo scale, sir. Karo. So,
Absolutely right.
yeah.
So one last thing before we free you from this conversation is that prior to going online, we were discussing about how pandemic has actually hit the hospitality sector. There were several curbs on travel, and therefore the entire business came to almost a grinding halt for a long time, and twice in quick succession. So now things are looking up, but there are stricter guidelines to follow even now. Do you think that in any ways technology plays a role to safeguard hospitality from being affected too much?
Yes and no. See, again, as I said, this is an operationally intensive, effort. Uh, so we deploy technology on every, as I told you, the whole customer journey as well as the operation side,
Mhm.
right? Finance side, operation side, homeowner ecosystem side, everything is digitized for us, which effectively means, see, we have to realize, that people are, say, I'm Mumbai based. The
Mhm.
Mumbai lifeline of Mumbai is the local trains. Okay, we used to have our offices in Prabhadevi and Vadala.
Mhm.
Okay, we've created enough seating space for 75, 80 people. But today, because our local trains are shut and most of our staff comes from different suburbs, uh, for the last 1.5 years now, we've moved to a completely cloud-based way of working, where
Okay.
not a single soul comes to office. Okay, my office is deserted. In fact, we gave up our Prabhati office. We only have the Vadala office, not because we can't afford to pay the rent, but because it's just pointless. The office is sitting idle. Nobody's even turning the AC on. Nobody's coming to the office. And our entire contact center, our entire every piece of work today is happening digitally. Okay,
Wow.
so we have moved to a permanent work from home culture.
Wow.
So much so, Rahul, that it has liberated us to hire from anywhere.
True.
Okay.
True.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I can tell you, my technology team is from Himachal Pradesh. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And I met them once, just once in the last 5 years. And we were always working like this. And now I feel, that was the right way to work. There was actually no need for a traditional, conventional office. So our team meetings happen in our villas. Okay. So we call everybody. We say, okay, let's why go to office? Let's go to Lonavala. Let's go to Kamshet. Let's go to Mulshi. So work from home is now institutionalized in the company, but that is
Mhm.
only possible if you are 100% digital.
It's true.
So if you call right from our contact center to our hosting to our CRM, everything is mobile, everything is digital, and my entire team doesn't ever have to come to office. But that also means, Rahul, that your trust system within the organization has to be so immense, where you know that despite being an operationally intensive, people intensive business of hospitality, you're still forced to work in a particular format, and you're delivering much better. Your throughput
Absolutely.
and your productivity is much better.
Yeah. So I think that is how a visionary can can think and change and catapult the situation, because had it been someone else, um, being in office would have been the first desire.
Yeah,
Whenever you get back to normalcy, being in office would have been the first desire, because that's where this whole thing of I can only trust what I see
yeah,
in a
correct, correct.
physical form. Really satisfying discussion with you, Deven.